What's going on, guys, and welcome to Formula 7 Racing. We are live here in Monza for our multi-class race, which is always an absolute cracker. Remember, we've got the GT3s out on track first, half an hour of GT3s, and then, 15 minutes of GT3s, and then 15 minutes of hypercars. Tom, thank you so much. Subscribe with Prime. Massive thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. I hope that's not too loud. Down towards the line, Kevin Estre in that BMW. Arnie Brandhorst back on track in the Porsche as he comes through Ascari and down towards Parabolica. He is not on a lap, but Noah Schaefer, is he on a lap? I think he's just getting going. I think a lot of the drivers are just getting going. Forza Racing, subscribe with Prime. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate that. Really do. Thank you. Right, we'll have a look at the GT3s first. So we do have Felix Hoffman, Robert Rockford as well. Oh, look at that. Robert Rockford with the new livery. Belicia. And Robert Rockford in that Belicia livery on that Porsche. So that should be very good indeed. So Felix Hoffman has already set a time of 151.4. It's Marcella's subscribe with Prime. We are on a hype train. Here we go. Le Mans Ultimate. Thank you so much, Marcel. Really appreciate that, mate. Yeah, it's literally a free sub and it helps us out massively. So thank you so much. So Felix Hoffman is on provisional pole after the first set of laps, and then you've got Arnie Brandhorst, Mael Castro, Nicholas Duncan, Marin Kitagawa, who was having a little tussle with A1 Jamie Brass in the practice session. The Ferrari driver of Richard Hubler, and then you've got Jamie Brass, the driver we were just talking about, in that BMW. Lorenzo Gigante in the Mercedes AMG. Macau Hotch in that Overtake Leukemia Ford Mustang. You've got Max Scavenger back on track as well. Marek Odlos, and that was Kevin Estre that went up to P4 in that BMW. A good lap from him. Robert Rockford, Tim Schaap, Noah Schaefer, and Stefano Averone. That, I thought that was an L. It's an I, so Ivarone. So Stefano Ivarone. I think it is Averone. We'll go with something like that, but it's not Laverone, it's Ivarone. Stefano Averone. Italian. Stefano Averone. Down to the line we go with the BMW, and it is P10, P11 for Stefano Averone. Tim Schaap as well, back on a lap with that Overtake Leukemia livery on that Mercedes AMG. We are all subscribing, appreciate it, guys, really appreciate it. So, Foucault Faru in the hypercars in the pit lane, but we do have a lot of the drivers coming back through. That livery is very nice from Mael Castro. Look at that thing. Beautiful. What's it based on? I'm trying to figure out what it's based on. Arnie Brandhorst with that zebra stripe with the sort of blue and yellow draped into it. That's a beautiful livery from that Boxer Syndicate as well. Felix Hoffman with the bar cherryade livery. That's nice. Noah Schaefer as well, also with the same livery as Mael Castro. Look at that. That is a fantastic livery. It really is. Macau Hotch, obviously, with the Overtake Leukemia livery that he uses for his friend who was racing here for a little bit, who is, who does have leukemia at the moment. He is battling leukemia. Marin Kitagawa, he's switched it up as well. He's gone for a more Sim Centre, red and black, EFS sort of draped livery over that BMW. I like it. Lorenzo is one of my fan favourites with that pink, and he's got, is it Mato Gubro just in front of him? It's the car guy. I'm trying to think the car guy is it Marek? It is Marek, and they did have a little coming together. I'm getting used to the cars and the liveries now. I'm getting used to them. Nicholas Duncan in the Lexus, the red and white, but it's not like a red. It's like a glistening maroon as he comes through Ascari. Then you've got Jamie Brass in that turbo red with the white front, the Paradigm livery. Stefano in that very M4 typical livery on that BMW, but with the little drapes of yellow, which I love. It looks fierce. It looks fierce, doesn't it? That BMW. Tim Schaap in that Overtake Leukemia, the orange one in that Mercedes AMG. And then you've got obviously Marek, who always uses the car rack guy, yellow livery for that Ferrari. Max Scavenger with the white and red Paradigm livery. And then Daniel Krupa. Look at that. Daniel Krupa with that new Porsche livery that he used last week, which is very nice. What would you rate Estray's livery? Let's have a look at it. It's the purple one, isn't it? I always love it. I always love the purple livery on Kevin Estray. Yeah, it's very nice. Look at that. It just looks... That BMW M4 just looks so fierce, doesn't it? Richard Hubler, only 11 1/1000ths behind Lorenzo through Sector 1. In the interval, sorry, in lap times completely. So, that is interesting. So it is Mael Castro that is currently on provisional pole. We do have Noah Schaefer. Remember, 15 minutes of qualifying is just GT3s. And then we move into the hypercars. I'm just going to do a quick sound check. Sounds good to me. Let's go. So the number 5 car of Felix Hoffman coming through. We need the timing, don't we? There we go. So Felix Hoffman to the line. Jamie Brass, we've got the number 14 of Robert Rockford in the Belicia Porsche. He is down on his lap time. The number 10 car of Marin Kitagawa, who is slightly up, but he's going to lose it to the line. And he's going to have to go again. Then you've got Macau Hotch just behind him, who will start his flying lap. And in Brandhorst, you do have Daniel Krupa, 17 drivers on the grid for the GT3s, and then all of the hypercars as well. I was expecting a little drop in numbers today, only because of the weather, but my goodness, the numbers still look really good here. Max Scavenger is just coming through, and he will either start his lap or he'll improve his lap. And Max Scavenger will start his lap. So let's jump on board with the front runners, because these are going to be their final runs. It is Noah Schaefer in the BMW as he comes through Ascari, just hugging the apex, running it a little bit wide there. That will have cost Noah Schaefer a little bit of time, as you can see it just dwindling away slightly as we go down towards Parabolica. We talked with my teammates on Discord just now that start from the box is not that bad today. So, around Parabolica for Noah Schaefer. He is 1.5 tenths up as he comes down towards the line. Will he get another crack at this? And Noah Schaefer will probably go up. Yep, he stays P3, but he does improve on his lap time. Then we've got Stefano Averone and the number 12 car of Richard Hubler to the line. But Stefano is 3.5, nearly 4 tenths up in that jet black BMW with the white front, and he does improve. Sorry, I think that was Richard Hubler with the black. I was getting a little mix. No, yeah, it is. It is Stefano with the black at the back. I do like that. So the number 15 car of Robert Rockford is half a second up. Where's it going to put him in this qualifying position? And he goes up to P14, and then Marin Kitagawa, who is slightly down again. He's not finding the form that he found at the start of this race. Tim Schaap is, though, as he is a tenth of a second up as he comes down towards the checkered flag. This could be his penultimate run. He'll get one more crack at this as Marek Odolos will come through in the Ferrari and dives into the pit lane. Then we have Lorenzo Gigante. He will get one more crack. And then Max Scavenger. What a race we are going to have here this evening. And we do have tonight, I probably won't use it much, but we do have the commentator cam. The commentator cam is up and running. So we are going to see, Jesus, it's getting warm in here. It's getting really warm in here. So, anyway. So the number 4 driver of Macau Hotch He's slightly down, but he is just getting ready for that final run with 2 minutes to go in qualifying for the GT3 cars and then 15 minutes for the hypercars. We have put in so much work, so much. Honestly, I'm thinking back at it now, I cannot even comprehend the hours upon hours over this bank holiday weekend that we've put into Le Mans Ultimate to try and make this as good as we run our F1 series. So Miguel Castro will go for that final run. Arnie Brandhorst, then you've got the car 14 of Robert Rockford. And they are all going for this one lap shootout. Owen is into the pit lane. Robert Rockford is not going to be able to improve. Marin Kitagawa is finally improving, but where's it going to put him? Potentially P10 in front of Nicholas Duncan. It didn't. He stayed where he was. Daniel Krupa has not got a lap on the board yet. This is going to be his run onto the gravel. He is going to get to the line, and Daniel Krupa is going to stay P17, I think. He did get to the line to go for another run at this. The number 16 car of Max Scavenger. And he is down. And then we have Jamie Brass. So these are all still coming through. We're going to have to try and find the front runner of the final runners. And I actually think it will be Mikhail Hodge. He's currently P5 in the standings here in qualifying with 30 seconds remaining. What's going on, Andy? How are we doing, Cohen? So down in towards Parabolica, Mikhail Hodge, the 777 driver, currently in 5th position in that Ford Mustang. Coming out of Parabolica, and then it's a run up to the checkered flag. He is not going to go again, I'm sure of that. And into the pit lane he goes. And Noah Schaefer is not going to improve, but he is going to get to the line for another run. That is unbelievable. Richard Hubler will get to the line as well. No, he wiggles. That is it. Here comes Felix Hoffman. He's into the pit lane. He's not going to find improvement. Miguel Castro is lighting up the circuit. Purple sector 2 down to the checkered flag. And Miguel Castro goes even quicker and opens it up to half a second. Only Arnie Brandhorst, but he is not improving as he comes down towards turn 12. So Arnie Brandhorst is not going to improve either. Then we've got Daniel Krupa. And then Lorenzo just behind him. You can see Daniel Krupa in the distance down in towards Parabolica. Interesting stuff here in Monza. So Daniel Krupa got to the line, but that is it. And Lorenzo will improve, goes P12. But now you've got Max Scavenger, and he is not going to improve, and that is it for Max Scavenger. Jamie Brass will come through and into the pit lane, and that is it for the GT3s. Noah Schaefer is also in the red. He did make it to the line, but the hypercars are now out and ready for their laps. So that is it. Miguel Castro takes pole position in the GT3s. Arnie Brandhorst will start on the front row. Noah Schaefer and Felix Hoffman will be alongside them. I'm just going to take a picture of this. And then Daniel Krupa in last. But let's go to the hypercars now. So it is the number 2 of Micah that will get us underway. Let's have a look at the liveries of these hypercars. Very Alpine, isn't it, for Micah? Very French. And then the George Benham. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. Is that a Porsche? It's a Genesis. Very nice. It's with draped in that silver. Looks very, sort of sticks with the name, doesn't it? Lucas Rajinski. And he's got the Overtake Leukemia livery draped over that Genesis hypercar as well. And then it is Milan van der Weyken with that red and black over the Aston Martin. Ryan Clemenson always with the white and blue of the Mobile livery. And then the number 7 of Alexander Midson, known as Sendro. with that very Japanese style looking livery. And it is a Toyota, so Fujitsu on the side. And then Richard. Oh, look at that from Richard. That livery, wow. It's even got his name on the back of it on the wing. That is an awesome livery from Richard. That is brilliant. On the Lamborghini hypercar. And Richard will really enjoy racing in that hypercar tonight. I would anyway if it was me, that's for sure. Ah, there you go. Beamer Tom made it. Marcel Fuchs with the sort of grey and red with the Albania on it. I like it. I like it a lot. So, it is Micah that is first through to the line. It's a 141. Then George Benham comes through. A 141.3. They're separated by 13 1,000ths of a second. Lucas Rajinski comes through in that hypercar. Then comes Ryan Clemenson. Milan van der Weyken comes through. But these are not going to be their official lap times because they obviously came out of the pit lane. But it just goes to show. So they were just their out laps. Now is their proper flying laps. So we'll jump on board with Mike. He's going to be the first through. Wow! He absolutely clatters into the sausage curb there. Does the hypercar driver. Ollie saying he only set one valid lap. That's not what you want in this series. I cannot believe how warm it is. I really can't. So on board with Micah as he comes down towards Parabolica in this hypercar. We ride on board with the BMW. Oh, and he's run it a little bit wide, and that will cost him time. Back onto the throttle though. George Benham just in the distance, and then he's got Lucas Rajinski getting a huge tow all the way to the line, and it is George Benham that goes provisional pole. Josh Harper Jones on his tail going P2. Micah down to P3. Lucas Rajinski in P4. Then comes Milan van der Weyken into P1. Ryan Clemson in P2. George Benham in P3. 1.5 tenths separating the top three at the moment. Alexander Midton goes up to P7. Richard is coming out of Ascari. Here comes Marcel Fuchs as well as he comes in towards Ascari. We'll jump on board with Richard. Richard Tachak in towards Parabolica. And that is a better entrance and exit in towards the final chicane. And then it's a short run up to the start of the pit lane. And it does look a little bit murky out there now. Look at the clouds. Richard going up to P5. And we've not got any more hypercars on track. Only the 9 and the 17 GT3. Still 26 on track. Obviously, with the weather, we understand that, you know, some of the drivers... Oh, and that is a driver leaving the pit lane. Arthur Woods, we know, pulled out 4 minutes before the deadline. Matthew Wells has gone for a pint, so he's not racing. Don't know about the rest of them, Malk. Thomas Coburg, Foucault Faru. I think he's not racing either. There's a few not racing, but I understand. Ivan Stefanov is usually here. Mirko, he's got to see. We need to sort out who's actually racing here because I don't know if Dan Quinn's still racing. I don't know if Mirko's still racing. Duarte came for one race. I don't know what's happening with Duarte, but there's a lot of people waiting for seats in this multi-class, so we could do with trying to sort that out. George Benham. 9 tenths quicker than any other driver on track. That is phenomenal. The Genesis driver. And his sector 1 time was actually slower than Milan van der Weyken, but his sector 3 time was incredible. Wow. So Ryan Clemenson's going to have to do something about this. Here comes Richard. He is slightly down on his lap time. But I think it's just another run out. Marcel Fuchs is 4 tenths up. He goes a little bit earlier on the entrance this time. And Marcel coming out down towards the line. This could put it, he will stay P8, but he will improve. And then you've got Ryan Clemenson to the line. Will he start his lap? He will. He's a second behind pole position at the moment. Then you've got Micah 1.1 up. That would put him in P2. So just keep your eyes peeled on Micah here. He will put himself from P4 to P2. This is what we were waiting for. And Lucas in the distance. But here comes Micah through to the line first. And he will put it P2. And then Lucas is just coming down the back straight. You've got Josh Harper-Jones starting his lap. Ryan Clemenson coming through. Retafilo. Yeah, sorry, Della Roggia, isn't it? In towards the double Lesmos. I don't have the track map up, I do apologise. In towards Ascari for Richard. But it is Ryan Clemenson. Micah. Micah is improving again here. George Benham is into the pit lane, and Milan van der Weyken just heading down towards Della Roggia. But it is Ryan Clemenson that needs the improvement as he goes into the gravel at Ascari. It's not a big track this here in Monza, so there will be a lot of traffic, especially when they catch up to the GT3 cars, and we're probably expected to do anywhere between 30 and 40 laps. So Marcel Fuchs comes to the line and he goes up to P7. Lucas Rosinski down to P8. Alexander Midson is 6 tenths up. This would still put him in P9. So Alexander to the line. So we do have just under 5 minutes of qualifying remaining. Lucas Rosinski is not improving. He does have Richard behind him. I think these are just now on out laps. Then you've got George Benham, who's 2.5 tenths up as he comes in towards Ascari. That was nicely done through the right and left. And then back onto the apex. It does say he's up. No, he's weaving. He's not. So the timing screen is broken there. Micah not on a lap. Milan van der Weyken running wide out of Ascari. That was lucky. Ryan Clemenson needs to do something here. He's not in a usual comfortable position that he would find himself in normally. So here we go. This is what we're waiting for. We've got 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying. 3.5 minutes to go in qualifying. Sorry, I was just doing a sound check. I'm always a bit cautious because I hate watching back and going, oh my god, the audio's awful. So Alexander is half a second up again, but this will still keep him in P9, but very close to Lucas. We know how good Sendro can be. He's done it in Formula 1. He just needs to find his rhythm in Le Mans. Once he finds that rhythm in Le Mans, there'll be no stopping him. So up towards the line for Sendro. Alexander, yep, stays P9 but does improve, still 7 tenths behind Lucas. Then you've got Marcel Fuchs that will start a lap with just under 3 to go. Josh Harper-Jones in that all black AERT livery. Oh, and he's onto the gravel. And he's going to have to do another outlap. Lucas Rosinski is 7 tenths up. He needs to find a second to get in front of Marcel Fuchs. Is he going to find it coming out of Parabolica? I'm not sure. He's running out of racing room. And Lucas to the line. And he'll stay P8. George Benham will be next. George Benham is finding that little bit more that will put him in front of Milan at Van der Weyken. George Benham stays P2. Josh Harper-Jones, there is a tenth of a second separating the top three. Then you've got Milan that will come to the line. Then you've got Micah as well. Ryan Clemenson. All of them coming through now. Ryan Clemenson only half a second behind. 2 minutes to go. These hypercars get so many more laps than the GT3s. So here we go to the checkered flag. Sorry about that. The number 6 car of Richard will peel off into the pit lane. Then we've got Josh Harper-Jones. Milan van der Weyken has improved even more. He's 2 tenths up. And there is a driver that... Oh, and he's into the wall. Josh Harper-Jones buries it into the gravel at Parabolica. And Lucas Rajinski is going to come through. He's 1.3 up. This could put him in front of Micah potentially. This is massive. So Lucas Rajinski down towards the checkered flag. And it is P5 for him. George Benham is finding that improvement. Is it going to be enough to take pole position? It's dwindled away out of Parabolica. He's going to keep P2, but it could have been so much more. Ryan Clemenson is still to come. He's set a purple sector 2. He could potentially take that provisional front row until Alexander comes. No, it is going to be Ryan Clemenson, but he's not going to find that improvement. And he stays P4. This is super competitive at the front here in Monza. There is a driver that I think might have backed out here. I think it might be Richard. It says he's gone all the way to the back of the grid. I'm not sure why.
Teams and drivers go to the grid.
Oh, it's chucking it down. So, here we go. We're getting ready to go racing. He had a stop and go. We can remove the stop and go. I can remove it right now, I think. Remove penalty. Richard. Oh, I can't find it. I can't find him on the list. Yeah, I can't bloody find him. I've only got Richard Hubler. Just un-DQ. Richard DSQ. Oh. Undisqualify. I can't find him. He's not there. Oh, there he is. Right, I've undisqualified him and removed penalties, stop and go.
Formation lap has started.
Yes, F1 Pingu, how are we doing? So formation lap has started. Hopefully Richard got back in, but I'm not sure. So here we go. This is it. So we'll go on board with the hypercars. Oh, look at this in the rain. This is what we're waiting for. It is chucking it down at the start of this Monza Grand Prix. It does get dry, by the way, so it will be an interesting start to round 5 here in Monza for our multi-class division. Look at that. There's a GT3 car that's off the track in the background, but a lot of hypercars. Here we go. This is it here at Formula 7 Racing for our Le Mans Ultimate tier as they all just creep up towards the line for round 5. And it is green as we go racing here in Monza. Milan van der Weyken and George Benham all the way down towards turn 1 at Retafilo. Look at Josh Harper-Jones into the slipstream of Milan van der Weyken as they go 3 wide. Ryan Clemenson just peels off and they do touch. Josh Harper-Jones is into the lead, in towards Retafilo we go. And he cuts the track. Milan is down to P2. Ryan Clemenson is fighting with George Benham as he goes just in front of the other hypercar driver. Mika in the background. Let's jump on board with the GT3s. You've got Mael Castro still into the lead. Noah Schaefer in P2 and Felix Hoffman and Arnie Brandhorst as they go around Curva Grande. And it is Felix Hoffman that is slightly in front of Arnie, but not for long as they come through the mist of the hypercars behind and all the way down towards Della Roggia. Here comes Macau Hodge and Kevin Estrades onto the grass. Macau Hodge is through and Arnie Brandhorst is now being overtaken. No, he's back in front and the other GT3's in the background. That is Jamie Brass off the grass and Marek Odlas, Daniel Krupa is coming through as well in that Porsche around the outside of the double Lesmos, and there's a crash. And there is Marek Odlos in the Ferrari that went into the back of him, and Lucas Rajinski in the hypercar. Wow, it is all going on, but look at this. Micah is into the lead of this Grand Prix as he goes over the grass, pulls to the side. Milan van der Weyken is back through. Josh Harper-Jones, Ryan Clemenson. There's a few gaps opening up in these hypercars. What happened at the start? Alexander Midson goes into the slipstream of Marcel Fuchs as we go down towards Parabolica. Richard is in the race. That is great to see. So we managed to do our job just in time. Lucas Rajinski is trying to come back through the traffic. Here comes Arnie Brandhorst on the inside of Noah Schaefer in towards Parabolica. Arnie is into P2. What a move from the Porsche, but the BMW is not going to let him get away that easily out of Parabolica, and now it's a sprint race down towards Retafilo, and the hypercar just splits in between both of them, and the BMW now has his nose ahead. What can Arnie do? It's going to be the last of the late breakers down in towards turn 1. You can see Mael Castro just in the distance. Arnie Brandhorst pulls over. Is he going to go for the gap that does not exist just yet? But Arnie is going to make it exist down in towards Retafilo, and he's in front, and now here comes Felix Hoffman. The Porsche of Felix Hoffman is through on Arnie as well. Somebody's hit the billboard, and around Curva Grande they go, and the Porsche's battling it out with that BMW just in front as we go down towards Della Roggia. The rain is still falling here in Monza. What a battle, side by side through there. Macau Hodge is onto the grass. A lot of the drivers are onto the grass. We're going to go Porsche by Porsche into the 2 Lesmo corners. And look at this for racing. What an aerial shot that is. Arnie Brandhorst will have the inside line to Felix Hoffmann through the second of the Lesmos. And that is Felix onto the curb and nearly into the gravel as Arnie goes through. And that is a great move. Micah has been overtaken by Ryan Clemenson at the front of the hypercars as they go down in towards Parabolica. Marcel Fuchs and Josh Harper-Jones, what has happened to them? Let's have a look at the grid progress at the start of this race. Here comes Ryan Clemenson on Micah. And it's going to be a sprint race in the rain. Down the pitch straight we go. Milan van der Weyken is 2.5 seconds clear of the rest of the grid. Wheel to wheel once more, but it's late on the brakes for Micah and Ryan Clemenson, and he's gone off the track again. And Micah just not finding that braking spot here in the hypercars. And he has come out way in front of Ryan Clemenson. He might have to slow down. He does slow down and gives him the position back. And that will probably save him from a penalty as George Benham is rounding into the gravel. George Benham. And he has kept it slightly out the wall. But it might have caused a little bit of damage. So these conditions, the drivers are finding it very, very tricky. Alexander Midton, Marcel Fuchs is around. And he gets back onto the throttle. Here comes Daniel Krupa as well up the inside of Macau Hodge. Daniel Krupa making moves in that beautiful Porsche. Jamie Brass on Kevin Estre. Stefano Averone in the BMW just behind. Here comes Jamie Brass. 3 BMW drivers onto the grass goes Stefano. Nearly losing the car there. He did a really fantastic job of keeping hold of it. Kevin Estre went over the grass and completely missed his braking point. Macau Hodge being overtaken by Max Scavenger. And Macau is not having the best of races so far, but it's very easy to come back here. Look how close Arnie is to the back of Noah Schaefer as we go down in towards Ascari. You can see that brake light, and Arnie's going to move to the inside, go later on the brakes, and he is through, and they do slightly touch. But that is a brilliant overtake from Arnie. And now here comes Felix Hoffmann again. These three have been going at it. That is a driver in the distance. And that is Mael Castro. The race leader has made a mistake coming out of Ascari. And Arnie Brandhorst is now your race leader with Noah Schaefer in P2. Felix Hoffmann also trying to pick up the pieces as we go down in towards Parabolica. But Mael Castro, the pole sitter and the race leader, makes a mistake here in Monza. Interesting racing going on. And that is Marcel Fuchs that is into the pit lane very early on for Marcel. Richard Hubler onto the back of Stefano in the rain. The rain battering down on these cars. And he is slightly onto the grass here. Richard Hubler, he's going to have to do it the hard way, if at all. Stefano nearly losing. Look at that. The back end trying to step out from underneath him, and Jamie Brass, that's exactly what it did for him. And Stefano is going to make this look very easy indeed as he comes out of Rettifilo and round Curva Grande at turn 3. And Stefano, the Italian on the Scotsman, will make the move count. And Jamie Brass will not give up easily. He'll try and go up the inside of Della Roggia, and that's exactly his thought process, and he does back out at the last minute. Stefano goes late and off the track he goes, and the drivers are really struggling in these wet conditions. Josh Harper-Jones on Ryan Clemenson. 6 tenths is the gap as they come down the pit straight. Arnie Brandhorst, your race leader. Yes, you heard that correctly. Your race leader from P3. This is phenomenal racing in the opening 8 minutes of this race. Richard Hubler on the back of Stefano. In towards Della Roggia. You've got Kevin Estre in the distance. In that iconic purple BMW and onto the gravel again. And he just seems to be struggling at his braking point going into Della Roggia. And here comes Noah Schaefer again. Noah Schaefer and Mael Castro running the exact same liveries here in Monza. Very much a team game here. So 8 hypercars and 17 GT3s. Nicholas Duncan still going on. Tim Schaap in that Mercedes AMG. And look at this again, Noah Schaefer down in towards Retafilo, wheel to wheel with the race leader. Noah Schaefer trying to get the better exit, but Mael Castro, the pole sitter, might have something to say about this. Felix Hoffman, a front row seat to this. Well, he can't really see much with the rain in front of him, but you get the perspective. Here comes Stefano and Richard Hubler as well. And Jamie Brass that is holding on. Around turn 3, it is 2 BMWs and a Ferrari. As we now head down towards Della Roggia, it is Jamie Brass just in front, but here comes Stefano. He's wheel to wheel. He'll have the inside line on the Ferrari. He just backs out, and that is a great move from Richard Hubler. And he sends him on skates, and Stefano is back through. The Italian read him like a book and goes back through before we hit the Lesmo corners. Oh, Marcel, I accidentally put quali fuel on my car. Oh, you are kidding. So, Marcel Fuchs will not get to the end of this race on the fuel that he's on at the moment. What a battle at the front we have got. Max Scavenger and Daniel Krupa into Ascari. Look at this for a battle. Oh, and they've touched. Oh, Daniel Krupa into the wall. Max Scavenger tags him. And Daniel Krupa will pick up damage in the Porsche. And Robert Rockford in that Policia livery of the Porsche will go through as we head down towards Parabolica. Arnie Brandhorst now 4 attempts in front of Mael Castro. Here comes Josh Harper-Jones on Richard. He goes off the track at Ascari as well, but he'll go through on Tim Schaap and chase down Richard in front. And Mael Castro's caught up to Arnie Brandhorst. Here we go again for the lead as they come around Curva Grande. And Mael Castro, who started on pole position, will retake the lead of this Grand Prix as we head down in towards Della Roggia. Later on the brakes will go Mael Castro. Arnie Brandhorst will stay with him. And you can see how close this is. And it's perfect racing in treacherous conditions here in Monza. Arnie Brandhorst keeping the inside line, selling Maestro the outside, and now Noah Schaefer might even try and pick up a little overtake up the inside as we come through the second of the Lesmos and down towards Seraglio. In the forests of Italy, we go racing. And talking of Italy, Lorenzo Gigante is home Grand Prix down in P12, but still well in the mix here as Marek will chase down Tim Schaap. Look how close Mael is to Arnie. Remember, this rain will eventually subside. Josh Harper-Jones on Richard. Out of the double Lesmos, they've got a lot of GT3 cars to navigate through, and they're having their own battle. They're not going to be willing to just pull to the side and let them through, especially when they're in a battle of their own. So once again for the lead, Mael Castro on the back of Arnie Brandhorst. And look at this, he slipstreams in, picking up a bit more pace and now moves out to the left-hand side. And once again, they're going to go squabbling through turn 1. And the Porsche driver picking on the brake pedal was very well executed from Mael Castro. Now comes Noah Schaefer. What a great tussle for the lead as Arnie holds on for P2, but for how long? Here comes Noah Schaefer around the outside. He will try and look for an inside in towards Della Roggia. But it is Mael Castro that is back into the lead. And look at this. That is great defending from Arnie. He knew what Noah Schaefer wanted to do, and he put a stop to it pretty early on down that straight. Richard is up to P2. Ryan Clemenson is now your leader. And Milan van der Weyken has made a huge mistake somewhere. He's down to P5. Richard Ubler side by side with Stefano. And off the track again is Jamie Brass and Stefano. And Richard Ubler will pick up an overtake on the Scotsman, and so will Stefano. Alexander on the back of Lucas. So bear with me, guys. That is Jamie Brass on Stefano, and Arnie is still chasing down Mael. I didn't want the window was open, and I didn't want anybody moaning about me shouting down the microphone. So Arnie Brandhorst on Mael Castro. Into the slipstream we go once again. Arnie in the Porsche on the BMW. And it is deja vu from the last lap. And this time it will be the Porsche that will come out on top. Can Mael get the better exit? And Alexander Midton on Lucas Rajinski as well, down in towards Parabolica. There is so much going on. Stefano and Jamie Brass, identical cars, identical situations. Oh, and that was close. Jamie Brass coming out, and Kevin Estray's up the back. Oh, he has to pull off to the left-hand side to avoid smashing into the back of him. Alexander, and that is a driver that is round. I think that is Daniel Krupa, sorry. Marin Kitagawa is not having a good race here. Tim Schapp is into the gravel. Nicholas Duncan still cracking on. Alexander through turn 1. I've got to say, it's absolutely roasting here. I'm sweltering in this room. 45 minutes to go. That's what you want. When you have a race like this, you want the top 3 exactly like this here in Monza. So into the slipstream again goes Mael, and it is just going to be tit for tat every single lap. Micah on Milan van der Weyken, and he will go up the inside of the BMW, and Arnie Brandhorst and Mael Castro are going to go at it once again. Lighting up them brake discs as they pull it to a stop. Mael Castro is round. Mael Castro in the wet. And he didn't recover that well at all. Noah Schaefer will now chase down Arnie Brandhorst. Mael Castro will stay in P3. Felix Hoffman, he must have made a mistake at some point because he's trickled down the grid. Micah on the back of Milan van der Weyken. Here we go. That is Richard just stepping out of the way. Wow, all of that brilliant racing at the front might have just gone. Yeah, absolutely, Tom. You are right. Oh, and Mike has made a big mistake there. Here comes Alexander on Lucas. So Arnie now leading. Oh, Nicholas Duncan has been absolutely screwed by this race. I'm just reading what's happened now. Noah Schaefer is catching up to Arnie, and here comes Alexander as well into the slipstream of Lucas Radzinski. It's a lot harder for the hypercars to make an overtake because they run out of racing room so much quicker than the GT3s. So Noah Schaefer only 2 attempts behind Arnie Brandhorst. He's trying to make an impact. And look at this around Curva Grande. And the BMW driver is going to put it right on the toes of Arnie. In towards Della Roggia. And he's going to go later on the brakes. He tries to pull it to a stop, runs off the track. He'll have to let Arnie back through, and he does. Mael Castro, you can see him just in the distance, but he's got a blue flag from one of the hypercars, and this will cost him as he go in towards the Lesmos. Whoa, that was close from Mael Castro in that hypercar. We'll have to just wait his turn, and that's what he does. Max Scavenger and Lorenzo around Curva Grande. Lorenzo in his home Grand Prix through the right-hander at turn 3. Wheel to wheel we go as we go down in towards Della Roggia. And it is Lorenzo that just peels off ahead of Max Scavenger. Will Max go later on the brakes down in towards turn 4? He will not, and he pulls up behind Lorenzo. Move complete from the Mercedes. What about Noah Schaefer? And they are getting blue flags. This is not when you want blue flags, when you're entangled in such a battle like this, but that's nice and easily done. And back down the inside goes Noah on Arnie. And this is for the race lead of the GT3s, the hypercars once again being dominated. Here's Richard and Josh Harper-Jones. Josh Harper-Jones is off the track. Sorry, that was Richard that was off the track. Josh Harper-Jones is through and up to P. Sorry, it was Josh Harper-Jones off the track, and Richard did go through to P2. This is an unbelievable recovery drive from Richard. And has the rain stopped? It has. The rain has stopped, so these drivers will go into the pit lane, and Noah Schaefer is now your leader in the GT3s. Look at this for a scrap. Just take it in. What racing we are watching. Into the second of the Lesmos. You couldn't fit a debit card between the two of them. They are that close. So down through Seraglio towards Ascari. It is the Porsche that has just got his nose ahead. Listen to the roar of the engines and the power of these cars. Later on the brakes will go Noah Schaefer. And look at this Arnie. Back side by side with the BMW and the Porsche. But Noah Schaefer, that was brilliant. Arnie will slot back in behind him to pick up that slipstream. Can Arnie make another move down in towards Parabolica? Oh, and he's gone later on the brakes. And tell you what, Noah Schaefer put the brake pedal on early there. And Arnie had to adapt to the car. Here comes one of the other hypercar drivers of Lucas Radzinski that goes through. And then you've got Alexander Minton that will come through. But this will not stop Noah Schaefer and Arnie Brandhorst as they go down in towards Rettifilo at turn 1. Noah Schaefer is going to take the inside line this time. What can Arnie do to defend? The BMW will put his nose ahead. The Porsche driver will try and switch it back up the inside. Then he'll do it again. And on the exit, the Porsche driver is able to get his foot down earlier. And this is Le Mans Ultimate Racing at its finest. So Noah Schaefer, and as all of this is going on, look at Miguel Castro in the back. Look at Miguel Castro, he has arrived, he is back. Noah and Arnie, not a thing to separate them. Absolutely going to war here. Josh Harper-Jones catching up to Richard. Mikhail Hodge on Stefano Averone. And down in towards Della Roggia, and Mikhail Hodge does go through. Stefano having to adjust his racing line to account for that Mustang coming through. Will Mikhail do the same? He does. Leaves the space up the inside for Stefano. And cleans it round the outside. Nicely done from Mikhail. Josh Harper-Jones. Lorenzo is so goated. Lorenzo is doing a terrific job. So here comes Josh Harper-Jones again. He's going to go up the inside of Richard. As we head down in towards Della Roggia, and Josh Harper-Jones could not get onto the brake pedal, and Richard will go back through, and Josh will have to try again. Marek and Marin Kitagawa, Tim Sharp. Tim Sharp being caught up by the leaders, Arnie and Noah. I'm absolutely sweating in this room. Noah's going to try again on Arnie. This time the Porsche is able to cover him off. Hey Lorenzo, thank you for the follow. Look at this. Macau is well in this now. Thank you for the follow as well. So let's keep our eyes peeled on this race. Miguel Castro is back here. Considering he had that slight spin and slight mistake in towards turn 1, where he ended up like 5 seconds behind. He's done a good job to get back. Let's go, Arnie. He is leading and he's doing a great job at defending the position. But he does have 2 identical BMWs now attacking him. It is not going to be easy, that's for sure. So can Arnie deal with not 1 but 2 BMW drivers? Here comes Stefano and Mikhail Hodge. Can he make the move down in towards turn 1 at Retafilo? And the BMW driver is going to move through on the Ford Mustang in towards turn 1, but he goes deep. He's made a mistake. And Mikhail Hodge will get the better exits. Will go up towards Curva Grande, and Stefano will lose the pace, potentially letting him through as well. And up the inside, and Mikhail Hodge is back in front. It is difficult conditions out there, especially with the wet starting to dry up. Miguel Castro is on the back of Noah Schaefer as we go down in towards Ascari. There is still a lot of racing going on here. And we're at the halfway point. And we still don't know who's going to win this Grand Prix. I'm wondering if there'll be any tactical moves from these drivers. They are losing time. They're 1.3 behind Arnie now. I am wondering if Noah Schaefer is going to let Mael Castro go here so that he can just tag along with him. We know that Mael's got the pace. He got pole position. So I'm wondering if they'll make any of them tactical decisions in this race. And Josh Harper-Jones 3 seconds now behind Richard. Richard defended the position when he needed to. I tell you what, these two are losing so much time to Arnie. They really are. I do wonder what's going on here. Oh, and he's going to go for the move. And he cuts the grass. And there is no love lost between these two. They might look the same, but that is about it. Noah and Mael are going at it, and this is going to help Arnie out massively in this race. And what about Max Scavenger on Jamie Brass? Jamie just in front of Max, but he is going to get that toe all the way down towards turn 1. And Max Scavenger moves to the right hand side as we go down in towards Retafilo. And it'll be the last of the late breakers. Max thinks better of it. Jamie is back through. Mael Castro has lost a second. And look at this again. Max Scavenger as we go around Curva Grande. And down towards Della Roggia. Jamie is trying to defend the position. And Max Scavenger, you can tell the frustration now starting to show. Mael Castro has nearly lost 3 seconds to the leader. And he's going to... I thought he was going to peel off into the pit lane, then he's not. And that is a hypercar that's gone off the track there. Max Scavenger's lost 1.7 to Jamie Brass. And Richard Hubler is into the pit lane. Ryan Clemenson is still your hypercar race leader. This has been a really good opening half an hour. Daniel Krupa will follow Marek Odlos into the pit lane. Robert Rockford in that Blicia livery in P7. And then Josh Harper-Jones starting to catch back up to Richard, not by much though. Richard, a fantastic job here in Monza. And look at this, Robert Rockford on Stefano. And look at this from the Porsche driver up the inside of Parabolica. He's seen an opening. And he nearly took it. He does take it. And the BMW driver runs wide. And Robert Rockford is in front of Stefano. Stefano will use the toe of the Porsche. Here we go back into the slipstream to give him that extra bit of horsepower as we go down towards turn 1 at Rettifilo. Stefano will move over to the inside. He wants to hook the apex as we go in towards turn 1. You can see the car shaking as he slams on the brakes, and he was always going to run wide there. Over the curb we go. Robert Rockford will not be able to get back through though, and Stefano will keep the position as the hypercar driver moves on through. A bit naughty there for Stefano to keep the position in front of Robert Rockford, but I'm sure the drivers, they're adults, they'll sort it out after the race, or they'll sort it out on track, who knows. But a little battle between the pair of them, wow. Mael Castro, 3 tenths behind Noah Schaefer. Towards Parabolica, and Robert Rockford again. Oh wow, into the second of the Lesmo. Stefano is holding on. This is getting very tense, and Mael Castro is through on Noah Schaefer. Wow, in towards turn 1, Mael Castro is through, and this is a back marker just in the way there in this hypercars, and it's always going to get like this as we come through the race. They are 4 seconds behind Arnie Brandhorst, and that is Josh Harper-Jones, yeah it is. And he's losing a little bit of time to Richard, who's also losing time to Arnie Brandhorst. But Arnie does not want to give up anything here. He's got a 4-second buffer. Robert Rockford and Stefano are going to go at it again out of Parabolica. And Stefano will pull away from Robert Rockford. Noah Schaefer will trail Mael Castro. And that is Arnie Brandhorst, who's lost about 7 tenths with that hypercar ordeal. Blue flags waving once more. 24 minutes to go. So Josh Harper-Jones only 2.5 seconds behind Richard. So he is starting to make progress. Robert Rockford 4 attempts behind Stefano Ivorone. What about Jamie Brass? Where is he now? He's sort of in no man's land. Lorenzo kicking up the dirt in P9. He's only 1.5 seconds behind Kevin Estre. I can see that being something to watch out for. Mael Castro's only 2.9 behind Arnie now. Wow, this is really coming down. So is Josh Harper-Jones on Richard. And here comes Robert Rockford again on Stefano. And he will go up the inside of Parabolica. Will Stefano switch it back as we get a face cam of the Marshall there. And it is BMW versus Porsche. That is one police car you want to go racing with. Look at this. He's going to run out of racing room. And Robert is going to keep P6 momentarily. How long will this go on for? And Noah Schaefer now a second behind Mael Castro. Josh Harbour-Jones only 2 seconds behind Richard. Oh, and that is Robert Rockford again coming back for Stefano. Oh, something must have happened there, Stefano. Wow. That was so close to going into the gravel. I don't know how he didn't. That was brilliant driving. Josh is actually losing time to Richard, so well played to Richard here. Yeah, 8 seconds behind Ryan Clemenson though. Jesus, I am absolutely boiling. Sorry guys, I'm zoning out here. It is awful. This weather is awful. Here comes Tim Schaap on Richard Hubler. The Mercedes on the Ferrari into turn 5 at the second Lesmos. Back onto the throttle and Tim Schaap will move through on Richard Hubler. The Ferrari down to P13. Tim Schaap up a position. And Josh Harbour-Jones now only 1.8 behind Richard, and Mael Castro only 1.9 behind Arnie. He is catching up. He is starting to catch up. And Richard Hubler will try and stay on. He's round Jamie Brass. All of that hard work undone from the BMW. Daniel Krupa on Marek as well. That is the hypercar driver, and that is Marek onto the gravel. That might open up the door for Daniel Krupa. It won't just yet. The hypercar driver will come through, and look at this. This is Arnie. Arnie does not want to get held up here. He knows that Mael Castro is chasing him down. The last thing he wants to do is get held up going down in towards Della Roggia. But that looks like it might be the scenario for Arnie. I know that is Marek that will move aside. Will Mael Castro get through just as easily as he flashes Daniel Krupa there? Oh, and Daniel Krupa's onto the gravel. I don't think he meant get out of the way that much, but fair play to Daniel. And look at this, Josh Harbour-Jones, 7 attempts behind Richard with 18 minutes to go in this race. Oh, sorry, mate. I'm so sorry. I forgot that I had it on grid progress. People have to remind me. I get so engrossed in the race. I forget to change the timing boards. I'm so sorry. So, Josh Harbour-Jones, 3 attempts behind Richard. Here we go. The 2 hypercars coming around Curva Grande. Josh Harbour-Jones has been catching up to Richard lap after lap as we go down towards Della Roggia. He'll move to the outside line. Here comes Josh Harbour-Jones. Will he go later on the brakes on Richard? Richard defending with all of his might, positioning the car so well as we come down in towards the Lesmos. Richard stays in front, but Josh is going to attack again. So around the first of the 2 Lesmos, Richard really nicely through there. Now down towards Ascari. Josh better on the throttle there. Will he still be getting a little bit of a boost in that slipstream of Richard in front? Down in towards Ascari. Through the left and right. just hugging the apex onto the curb. And look at it, he just looks so much quicker through the apexes. Does Josh Harper-Jones, he runs it wide though. That might have been a godsend for Richard. The sparks are flying as we head down towards Parabolica. So Josh Harper-Jones only half a second behind. And that is a little bit of a cheeky slipstream for the Porsche driver as he chases down the Lamborghini of Richard in front. But they do have a little bit of traffic, one of them being Robert Rockford now. In towards Retafilo. Look at this. We are going to come to blows. They are both flashing to say, Robert, we are going at it here. Watch yourself. They should get done for speeding there with that police car on track. But here we go. Josh Harper-Jones once again not close enough to make an overtake attempt. So around the Lesmos we go. Mael Castro only 2 seconds behind Arnie. You can see him. Look how close he is. You can practically smell him. So Josh, 4 attempts is the gap as we come down towards Ascari. Will this be the moment that he gets him? I don't think so. Not yet. Oh, look at this. He was so quick through Ascari. And Josh Harper-Jones, this might be the move that he's been waiting for. Richard will try to defend. It's a sprint race down towards Parabolica. They do nearly touch as Richard will try and hold on. He'll go later on the brakes. He'll take the inside line in towards Parabolica. Richard stays in front. Can Josh Harper-Jones get the better exit? We shall see. He'll get a second attempt as we go up towards Retafilo at turn 1. Josh moves left, moves right, weaving down the pitch straight. We are racing here in Monza. Josh is in front and Richard does everything he can to defend the position and then goes later on the brakes in towards turn 1. And unbelievably, Richard has got the car to a hole and stayed in P2. What defending from Richard. What racing from these pair of drivers. So around Curva Grande we go. Will Josh try again? They touch again. In towards Della Roggia. Now they've got GT3 traffic as Richard goes off the track. Josh is through and finally into P2. And Richard flashing to say, you lucky boy. My mistake. Good racing though, really good racing. And Lorenzo will be the car in front, 13 minutes to go. And Tim Schaap is going to catch up to Lorenzo. Wow, that was Richard there, I think. That is Tim Schaap that goes off the track. We can sort of calm down a little bit now. I'm overheating. I'm literally overheating here. It is so warm. Whew, I am literally overheating. So we'll jump on board with Arnie. You've got Mayel chasing him down. 11.5 minutes to go in this race. It has been it's been such a good race though. He's only 1.5 clear of Miguel Castro, you know. This is going to be really close to the end. So look at this, Kevin Estre into the pit lane with Stefano. Oh, Richard has caught up to Josh Harper-Jones. What is going on? I thought Richard was out of this, but absolutely not. Richard may be saving his tyres. Who knows? So Richard is now into the pit lane. Ryan Clemenson comes out in P3. Josh stays out. Mael Castro. Wait, how? Oh, they're in the pit lane. I was going to say, what's happened? So all of the drivers with 9 minutes to go are getting them pit stops done. What a battle this has been. It has been incredible. It's been so good. When you get a race like this as well, and I'm absolutely boiling in this room. But when you get a race like this that started with like the rain, and then you move to dry weather, you've got hypercars and GT3s on the same circuit. It's a short circuit as well. What is it, like a minute and whatever, minute and 57 a lap around Monza. So it's a very short circuit. It's hard. You've got to navigate a lot of different drivers, especially for the hypercar drivers. The straights, it ain't like the Mulsanne straight in Le Mans. It's literally down through Seraglio to Ascari, and then you've got the huge pit straight, which is just about okay for getting that overtake. So it's a tough one, but it's a good circuit. It's a good circuit to race around. But these drivers have made it what it is tonight. It has been a brilliant race. It really has. And that is all credit to the drivers. Alexander is on the back of Milan van der Weyken. I don't know what has happened to Milan van der Weyken, but considering he started on pole position, I'm not sure where it all went wrong for him. Robert Rockford is now on the back of Stefano again. These two have been going at it all race long, and it is Robert Rockford on the back of Stefano as we come around Curva Grande at turn 3 down towards Della Roggia at turn 4 and 5. They're going to go into the left and right hander, and he just stays within the Porsche driver on the back of the BMWs that go down in towards the Lesmos at turn 4 and 5. Sorry, at turn 6 and 7, is it? Turn 6, turn 7, and then down towards 8 at Seraglio and 9 at Ascari. So through the second of the Lesmos, can the Porsche get later on the brakes? He is in the slipstream. He's going to pick up a little bit of extra pace here as we come down the straight. And you've got the little kink there that's Seraglio and then down towards Ascari. And he is getting closer. 4 tenths is the gap. The BMW will lead the way in towards Ascari, hugging the apex, using the outside line, then back onto the throttle. You've got to feather it through, and the Porsche driver not as clean through there as Stefano. And the BMW driver picks up the gap from the 4 tenths to 8 tenths, and they've got the hypercar in the distance just behind him. I think that might be Micah in the hypercar chasing them down. So they're going to get blue flags shortly. There is a yellow flag on tracks. There is something that has happened here. Felix Hoffmann is starting to catch up to Arnie Brandhaus, but remember, he has pitted. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. So, all to play for. It really is all to play for. So looking at the gaps, Robert Rockford is still on the back of Stefano. Oh, and he just drifts through the Lesmos. 3 tenths is the gap, now down to 7 after that mistake. Then you've got the hypercars. Milan van der Weyken has caught up to Richard. 8 tenths is the gap. Remember, he was the pole sitter and he cuts across the curb. And Milan van der Weyken making his own racing line there. So, and he'll probably get a flash from the car behind. Mael Castro is now your race leader. Noah Schaefer is in P2 and Arnie Brandhaus is down to P3 with 4 minutes to go. How has this even happened? Is it Arnie that made the mistake? Was that why the yellow flag came out? Did Arnie make the mistake? What have we missed? Felix Hoffmann is there. Then you've got Macau Hodge. Robert Rockford is losing time. Milan van der Weyken is chasing down a podium, so let's keep our eyes peeled on this. Josh Harper-Jones is in the lead with 3.5 minutes to go, and Ryan Clemenson is 21 seconds behind him. What is going on here? Surely Josh Harper-Jones has got a pit. And here comes Milan van der Weyken out of Ascari. Richard has struggled with Ascari all evening. And here we go, the pole sitter of Milan van der Weyken down the straight. Towards Parabolica we go. Richard demoted to P4. And Milan, who started on pole position, is back into the podiums. And they're now going to have to navigate the GT3 of Noah Schaefer. One goes left, one goes right, and down the straight. Can Richard respond as he goes into the slipstream of Milan? And the Dutchman will hold on for now. And Richard can't get close enough as we go down in towards Retafilo. Late on the brakes of the inside we go, and Richard will go off the track, and Milan will come through when they do touch. Milan stays ahead. And Richard is down to P4. He just flashes, probably to say sorry. Ryan is catching up, by the way, to Josh Harper-Jones at a rapid rate. So, Kevin Estrate, Robert Rockford on the back of Stefano. Still a minute to go. Ryan Clemson is still 13 seconds behind Josh Harper-Jones. I don't really know how this has happened, I'm going to be honest. So 22 seconds to go. Ryan Clemenson, Josh Harper-Jones. Will he miss the line? Josh is slowing down. I'm not sure why. I think he's waiting for the timer to run out so he doesn't have to do another lap here. Is that what he's doing? I think he is. He is. So it is going to be the checkered flag. Let's bring it out. And it is going to be the checkered flag. And unbelievably, Josh Harper-Jones has won. Josh Harper-Jones has won, and Ryan Clemenson will come through to take P2. Milan van der Eycken, who started on pole position, will take a podium in P3, coming out of Parabolica. So to the line, and Milan takes P2. Richard will take P3. Sorry, Richard will take P4. Micah will take P5. Lucas Rajinski in P6, and Alexander Midson in P7. Mael Castro coming down towards Parabolica, and where he started is where he's going to finish up. Josh Harper-Jones wins in the hypercar, but it's Mael Castro that will come through to win in the GT3s. In that BMW, Noah Schaefer in P2. Arnie Brandhorst is going to take P3. And Slipstream Lorenzo all the way to the line. It is a podium for Arnie. Felix Hoffman takes P4. Macau Hotch will take P5. And Lorenzo and Kevin Estrate, Robert Rockford, Stefano. I just need a picture of this, because I need to get it right on the standings, you see. Oh, my phone's telling me to clean the camera lens. It's clever, isn't it? Oh, Josh is still on wets. He didn't change his tyres. Wow. Oh, that makes sense. Wow, that's amazing. What a drive from Josh then. If he didn't pit, he stayed on wets. That's amazing. That's Jamie Brass in the distance there. Look at him. Yeah, that's incredible stuff. Well done. What have I just done there? There we have it. That is it. What an end to the race. Well done, everybody. That was a cracker of a Grand Prix. That was a cracker of a race. We got some great clips out of it, so I hope that you see them on Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram and Facebook. The only ones that go onto Facebook is the ones that we manually post to Instagram. Screw Monza. I know, Ollie, I know. But yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. I need to get out of this room. It is scorching. Absolute scorching. But yes, thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. We've not got a race next week. And the reason we've not got a race is because I ended up getting a promotion at work, which changed my rota. So it means that I do 3 weeks of earlies, 1 week of lates. When I do the lates, we just don't have an alternative to commentating. And I wouldn't expect you to just turn up and race with no commentary or anything. rather you have a commentator. So yeah, we have got a break next week, and then we're going to be back for 3 more races after that. And then we've got Series 1 of the new multi-class coming up as well, so make sure you tune in for that. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for supporting us as well. Genuinely means so much. We spend so much money on trophies at the end of each season, we spend so much money on running the league, on paying servers, on cost of everything, just everything, but no matter. But thank you, even just a free sub from Prime massively helps us, so I really appreciate it, so thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody. Finish off with a great bank holiday. I will see you for Realistic on Wednesday, and it's set up also on Friday. Take care, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.